flying the first Europeans to the moon, being among them, hopefully stepping also on the planet. And it shall be a continuous presence on the moon. And on moon we will learn a lot for technology that we spin back to Earth applications, but we will also learn for later on for missions to Mars.
So talking about, going to the moon, I mean, Thomas, are you getting ready to, take part in any of these missions that Matthias is telling us about?
Applications, but we will also learn for later on for missions to Mars.
So talking about, going to the moon, I mean, Thomas, are you getting ready to, take part in any of these missions that Matthias is telling us about?
I think we are. I think ESA made the bold decision to send Europe onto this adventure, which was the right decision to make. I think we have a variety of destinations today. We should not forget low Earth orbit and the International Space Station. Our friend and colleague Andreas Mogensen is now in the final stretch for his mission, launching in August. And then we'll have a rotation of missions to low Earth orbit. We have new colleagues who have just started at the European Astronaut Center, and we're glad to have them. There's going to be so many missions to fly in the future, and obviously the Artemis missions. Everybody's trying to, do their part. Everybody's trying to contribute what they've learned in space, what they've learned before, to go as a team, and that's what we're focusing on for the years to come.
So I hear the two of you telling me that you're both able and ready to go. Do you see yourself taking off from Europe's spaceport here in French Guiana, Thomas?
I think it'd be a dream, but it's more than a dream because we're having this conversation. We're working on this independent, access to space for humans from French Guiana. We have all the building blocks. We've had a reliable launcher, Ariane 5, Ariane 6 is going to follow suit. We've had the ATV, the transfer vehicle. We've had the CRV, the return vehicle. We have Space Rider. We have everything. We have all the building blocks. We just have to put them together. And for this, you need a vision. I think we have the vision. Now we need a mandate. But tomorrow, you can imagine, now that Europe is more mature, now that Europe is, growing on the scene, people feel more and more European, sometimes because of the crisis around us. But at least the result is we're being more united. And I think that would be a fantastic project to kind of inspire Europe and to channel the best that Europe has to offer and to make Europeans dream for generations to come.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Stay with us because we have Josef Aschbacher. Josef, thank you so much for joining us. You are ESA Director General. Well, a very simple question to you. I mean, we're talking here about, the capability of space explorations. Are you going to make this happen? Human space exploration, of course.
I mean, it needs a lot of people to make this happen. But of course, my job as Director General of ESA is to make sure that the discussion takes place and that we have a discussion in Europe and preparing decisions in order to make this happen. In fact, we just received a report from a high-level advisory group called Revolution Space, and that really means a revolution for Europe in space to really engage, bring Europe one level higher in space exploration, literally, and make sure that Europe has all these capabilities which Thomas and Matthias have just described. So yes, we're doing everything to make it happen. But Lise, today we're here in front of the screens of JUICE. Let's talk about JUICE because that's such an exciting mission.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you, Thomas. Matthias, thank you very much for being with us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
So for those of you who are joining us, we are just under 12 minutes to liftoff. And I'm here in Jupiter Control. We're about to see Ariane 5 take off with JUICE under its fairing, heading for Jupiter. And I am here with Raphaël Chevrier from Ariane Space. Raphaël is going to take us through every step along the way of this mission. Welcome to Road to Space, Raphaël.
Hello, Lise.
So why don't you take us through maybe the next steps coming up now?
Oh, absolutely. So Ariane 5 this morning is going to launch towards the east. So at such low latitude, we benefit from what we call the slingshot effect given by the rotation of the Earth, providing enough speed for JUICE. The launcher first performs a pitch maneuver to get into the required direction, and only 2 minutes and 17 seconds after liftoff, the two boosters have done their jobs of providing enough the main thrust, and they are detached from the launcher. And shortly after that, the fairing, which protected the spacecraft from the frictions of the air, is separated in two halves as we have crossed the limits of the atmosphere. We just don't need it anymore. And once the launcher reaches an intermediate orbit, the main stage is cut off and separated. We then enter the second propelled phase of the flight with the ignition of the upper stage. The engine powers for about 16 minutes in order to raise speed and altitude and reach the targeted orbit for JUICE. The little towers that we see on the motion picture represent a chain of telemetry stations that are receiving data from Ariane 5 all along the flight path. And after some orientation maneuver, JUICE is separated on a liberations orbit, meaning it will have the required speed to escape the gravitational pull of the Earth. This is almost the end of the mission for the launcher perspective, as we still need to perform some disposal maneuvers of the upper stage, but this is definitely the beginning of the journey for JUICE. ESA teams will use the Norcia ground telemetry stations in Australia to acquire signal from the spacecraft and take full control of it.
I think I'll take over from here, Raphael, because I can actually hear...
There's an announcement here.
Yes, announcement here. We're bringing you this information live. I'll actually listen to what's being said in French and I'll come back to you and translate. Sounds like we're heading for...
There is a risk of lightning right here.
Yes, a weather.
The weather is quite challenging.
Right, it's been announced. So Marianne Claire has just announced that we're going to halt the launch operations for now, for today, due to weather conditions. But what does this mean, Raphael?
So it means that we usually check whether it's the winds at high altitude, the winds in the vicinity of the launch pad, and also the risk of lightning. This is the latest criteria that is not suited for a launch today. Unfortunately, this is out of our control, but it also reminds you that we don't take any risk when it comes to launching a satellite into space.
Absolutely. So as Raphael was saying, it has been announced that for today, the liftoff is going to be postponed. Of course, our passenger is safe and sound under the fairing, and we'll, of course, be bringing you all the information on a new date as soon as we get it. We have Stéphane Israel, who is going to come and make an announcement to us right now. Stéphane, welcome back. So
yes, thanks.
Faster than we had imagined.
Yes.
But it's beyond our control, right?
Yes, for sure. You know, it's part of our business,
Yeah.
and what is important is when you lift off, you must make sure that all the parameters are green. Again, the launcher was okay, JUICE was okay, but the final checks made by CNES on the weather were not okay. You have two reasons not to lift off: high altitude winds or risk of lightning.
Yeah.
The high altitude winds were okay. There was a risk of lightning, so now you see a red on the screen. What is important is that the launcher and JUICE are in stable configuration and in full security. We will be back tomorrow morning, a few seconds before we aim at lifting off at 8:14 Washington time, 9:14 Guiana time tomorrow morning.
Well, there we go. So Stéphane has actually given us the news here live. So the next day is tomorrow morning, and of course we're going to just bring that time forward by 1 minute. We were due to take off at 9:15. It's going to be 9:14, as you said.
Exactly.
So we will see you all tomorrow at more or less the same time, and we'll hope that the weather is going to be more clement tomorrow.
A little bit of patience, and it will be okay tomorrow. Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Stéphane, and be assured that JUICE is safe and sound under the fairing. It's just going to have to be a little more patient. Another 24 hours, let's hope. And that's it from us. Thank you, Stéphane.